This ancient book is titled The Original Story. Want to read it? In the beginning, there was only a churning turmoil of chaos. At the heart of the chaos, where all things became one, appeared an egg. Having tumbled from the vortex, the egg gave rise to the original one. From itself, two beings the original one did make. Time started to spin. Space began to expand. From itself again, three living things the original one did make. The two beings wished, and from them, matter came to be. The three living things wished, and from them, spirit came to be. The world created, the original one took to unyielding sleep. That was the creation myth of Sinnoh, found in a book in Canalave Library. It describes Arceus creating Dialga, Palkia, Uxie, Ozif, and Mesprit, and those Pokemon in turn creating the universe and souls. You see how fucking in-depth Sinnoh lore goes? Gullos wishes it had such intense lore. Anyway, I've been emotionally invested in Sinnoh since I was 8 years old, so you get to suffer a mere fraction of the knowledge I've accumulated about it in the 15 years since then. Fuck, I feel old. Arceus. Getting a whole game dedicated to itself next year. Good going for something whose event got cancelled in Gen 4 cause the Pokemon Company thought taking an item to a place already established to be very connected to legendary Pokemon would be too complicated for our small minds. I fucking knew. I even knew enough to know how to hack the Azure Flute into my game. Too complicated, my ass. So, this thing is God, it can be any type at all, and the Ether Foundation made a knockoff of it in Gen 7. But more importantly, it made probably my favorite Pokemon ever. Like, it's really close between my top 3, Dialga. Dialga was my first version mascot and the first legendary I'd ever encountered. I saw Pokemon Diamond and Pearl in a shop a few months after I'd got my baby blue DS and thought, Pokemon's a word I've heard before but know nothing about. This thing looks cool. I'm gonna get it. And then I did. And then I learned it controls time and loved it even more cause I was raised on Doctor Who even before the comeback, so time was established in my tiny baby mind as very important. And the role it plays in Mystery Dungeon. Those games make me cry. Seeing your partner who you've spent tens of hours with mourn your death, for months, is heartbreaking. And Primal Dialga looks cool as fuck. Dialga has an infinitely less cool sibling, Palkia. It controls its space and has a really weird head. It does play a big role in Mystery Dungeon again, this time as part of the post-game. It's not really a post-game. It's just a second half of the game. There's so much content in time/darkness/sky you really have no idea. These two Pokemon can both be encountered at Spear Pillar during the Cataclysm of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, and presumably Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl too, since those are looking to be incredibly faithful remakes. Spear Pillar is at the top of Mount Coronet and is where Cyrus summons insert legendary here. It's where you have to take the Azure Flute to gain access to the Hall of Origin to encounter Arceus too. So you see what I mean about calling bullshit on that being too complicated, right? When Cyrus summons insert legendary here, this brings even more legendaries to Spear Pillar. The Lake Trio, who you've been interacting with at various points throughout your journey at this point, come and free the dragons, to varying success. Their myth goes as follows. 3 Pokemon there were. Into the lakes they dove. Deep, deep, drawing no breath. Deeper, deeper they dove. Into suffocating depths they dove. Deeper, than deepest they alight. From the lake floor they rise. Bearing with them the power to make vast lands, they rise again. Uxie is the embodiment of knowledge, and is found in Lake Acuity. Its eyes are closed because if you look into its eyes, you'll forget your entire life. But power carries over to Mystery Dungeon again, so it's a very intentional design choice. Azov is the embodiment of willpower, so I guess it would make a great Green Lantern. It lives in Lake Valor. It has the ability to pass through things, making it harder to harm, and thus potentially saving you from being paralyzed and losing the will to live. Mesprita is the one you come across most, as it lives in Lake Verity, right next to your hometown. It is the embodiment of emotions, and is a roaming Pokemon because if you touch it, you'll lose all emotions. Maybe Cyrus touched it when he was a kid and that's why he wants to destroy the world? Who knows? Giratina is what happens when Cyrus summons both Dialga and Palkia and the Lake Trio can't stop them both. That one bit where Giratina melts out of the ground and drips shadows like ink changed me as a person. It's the devil, essentially, banished to the distortion world for its violence, and is the duty of antimatter. It has links to the underworld too through its real-world location, Turnback Cave. I really hope we get to see the distortion world in either BDSP or Legends cause goddamn do I love it. Look at this place. Look at its messed up physics and upside down waterfalls and disappearing trees. Love it. Feels like home. I wish there was an option to stay there with Cyrus and just chill, especially since I own the Pokemon that made the portals in and out. Why can't I just hang around here for a bit and make another one when I want out? Alas, Game Freak simply does not understand the desire to exist in an empty world. Sad. The Sinnoh Ruins is where the design for my back tattoo came from. It connects Sinnoh and Johto and means if you have the right Arceus's Heart Gold or Soul Silver, you can get an egg of any of the creation trio. Decisions. Hey everyone, take a break. We're moving on to non-cataclysm legendaries next. Regigigas is the master of the legendary Glooms, Titans. I've always called them Glooms cause that's what they are, but Bulbapedia calls them Titans. It lives as a statue in Snow Point Temple and can be awoken if you bring a set of Regius, Regirock, and Registeel to it. In Galar you can find it as a max raid battle and Giants bet if you have all the Glooms. I'm unsure if they include both Regidrago and Regieleki in that group. And it's kinda like a legendary Slaking in a way. Weird. These are the proper Regi trio. Classics. Brilliant? Look like they were indeed crafted by that creature on the previous slide. Made out of materials that can, in fact, be crafted with. All good. Originally found in Hoenn after you solve some braille puzzles and do shit like stand in front of a wall for 2 minutes without doing anything. Which honestly, peak Pokemon puzzle design. The vastly inferior Gen 8 additions to the Regius. Why did they need to exist? A trio and a trio master is a tried and true setup for legendary Pokemon, starting even back in Gen 1. They didn't even add a whole other trio, just 2. And how do you even craft things out of pure electricity or draconic energy? You can't hold that and shape it. These don't even look like the same shape as Regigigas. Did it just get bad at sculpting? The designs from Insurgents are so much better, just like the original trio got destroyed. Good concept, I approve. Even Clover did better with their dead Regi trio, and that's 4chan. Heatran just kinda exists. And there's a lot of them. They live in volcanoes in at least 2 regions, and the fact they can be both male and female means there's a breeding population somehow. You can breed them in-game but that means nothing, like how the Galar variants of the bird mean there's breeding populations of them, enough for divergent evolution even, but you still can't breed them in-game. Manaphy and Fion however, can be bred in-game, that's the only way to get Fion in fact, to breed a Monophy with a Ditto. Monophy even comes only as an egg that you then have to hatch. It's cool. It also means there's a lot of discussion as to whether Phione counts as a legendary. I say yes. I also say yes to Rotom being a legendary though, so I am not to be trusted. In my defense, it uses the legendary encounter music and you can only get one of them, and in Diamond and Pearl you can only get it after you become the champion. All signs pointing to a legendary. And then Gen 7 ruined my fantasy by making it a utility item. Why can this Pokédex not fight in battles? Normal Pokédexes can't, obviously, but neither can normal freezers, and yet Freezer Rotom can fight. Same with the phone. If I want to use my phone to fight battles, why can't I? Is it against league rules? Fuck that. I have saved the world so many times over, and I will also happily only take 5 other Pokemon into battle if that's the issue. My phone is a coward and I hate that. Darkrai is cool. I like Darkrai. It's like Absolem that it is highly misunderstood simply for being dark type. It causes nightmares if you happen to fall asleep around it, and as a defense mechanism, and because it wants to protect everyone from that, it lives alone on New Moon Island, far away from any civilization. Poor thing. Darkrai from Mystery Dungeon though, can absolutely go fuck itself. It tried to destroy Temporal Tower. It tried to distort space and put the entire world into a nightmare. It tried to literally straight up kill me on multiple occasions. Get fucked, PMD Darkrai. I'm glad your boss fight was a pushover with Blizzard. The one from the movie can stay though, that one's nice. Cresselia is the antidote to Darkrai's nightmares and lives on Full Moon Island. She is always female, presumably cause there's just the one and she's decided she's a woman. Her feathers are made into lunar wings which ward off any nightmares. She doesn't really have a reason for roaming Sinnoh. She just kinda does. Shaman is the gratitude Pokemon, and the grass idea flowers it uses to change forms are also given as thank you gifts in Sinnoh. It can also remove toxins from a polluted area. But the one from the movie was highly ungrateful to just about everyone around it, whiny little hypocrite. So thanks. This was a very long presentation, and to be honest I have probably put way more effort into it than expected. But I had a lot to say, so there.